Alright, here we go. We'll go through the extra deck on the Chaos Zombies. These are just my personal preference. You can always change them up. Um, so let's just get into it. Catastor. I have three. Yeah, I have three one-star tuners. So, and majority of the monsters, actually all of the monsters are 4-star. Well, they can be normal summoned. So bringing him out is not that big, or not that much of a cost. It's not a hassle, and he's just good because he can destroy any non-dark monster before damage calculations. That's what really makes him good. So against Hyperion or maybe another boss monster that's not dark, it just destroys it. Brio, really good. Drop cards from your hand, get rid of back row if they have it. If their back row scares you, or maybe if they have a boss monster, you can always bounce that. Revive King Hades. He's a zombie, 2450. When he destroys a monster by battle, he actually negates the effect. Um, there's been some discrepancies with the ruling. Some people say that you, like, for example, uh, Sangan, if you destroy him by battle, like some people say that that it negates it, some people say that it doesn't, but it hasn't really been confirmed. Also, another one is, wow, I can't remember. Dandelion. There we go. Dandy. Because Dandy just says when it's sent to the graveyard. I mean, there's no other stipulation, but I mean, if it negates, it depends on how far it negates. I mean, that was one of the more attractive like things about Revive King Hades because of the fact of that negation throughout, but there's no real official rulings for it. Gaia, 26 feet for 6 stars, gets over Stardust, gets over just 2500s and 2400s. That's what it's really there for. Black Rose, because in case you need to blow the board when they make a really big play, and like if you can stuff that big play and keep yourself alive, Stardust can get rid of a lot of stuff. Um, yeah, it's mainly when they use most of the resources. You just say, "Oh, I'll pull start or pull Black Rose, pull Black Rose, and just destroy everything." And then they're like, "Oh, I just summoned 3 boss monsters," and it's like, "Huh." There went all of that and all that hard work you put into it. Just a single Stardust for negating heavy storms, dark holes. Um, I don't know, just other cards that destroy. It can't be bottomless, I don't think. Um, or like just other cards that would destroy. It's really good. It protects your monsters. It lets you get field, or it lets you keep field presence if you already have it. It's also 2500, pretty big. I mean, it'll get over quite a few things, especially monarchs. Dark End Dragon, you need a tuner and one dark non-tuner. That's the only bad part about this card. The fact that you can't just use any 6-star. It has, or well, any other non-tuner. It has to be a dark non-tuner. He's a 2600, so he can get over things. He is 8 stars. I'll mention that. But his real power comes from his effect. He can lose 500 attack and defense permanently to send one card on the field to the graveyard, um, or one of their monsters to the graveyard. The reason why it's so powerful is because it says send. It doesn't say destroy. So if they do pull Stardust, you can always Dark End to counter because you're sending, you're not destroying. So it gets over Stardust, or you can use this effect to get rid of Stardust. Colossal Fighter. A lot of boss monsters are 2800. You can just knock it and he'll come back. So it's like, oh, I'll double knock with your 2800 and I'll just come back. Or also with the pre-mentioned Kaias, I mean not Kaias, with the pre-mentioned Gaia, he's actually 2900 because he gains 100 attack for each warrior type in both players' graveyards. Scrap Dragon, it's Scrap Dragon. I mean, when there's something on the field that you don't like, you just get rid of something you don't like. It's like, oh yeah, I'll get rid of my petty monster over here to take out your back row. It's really good at just back row hate and like boss hate. He's also 28, so super strong. Trish, great when they have just a lot of cards that you just don't like. Like, it's pretty good to get out early game, I feel like, because you can get rid of those, like, maybe few monsters in the graveyard, because you can remove, when you summon him, you can activate his effect and, or hold on. Yeah, when you summon him, you can activate his effect, and you remove from play one card in their discard pile, one card on the field, and one card in their hand. That's that's a lot of cards. I mean, maybe not in comparison to windups, but it's still a lot, especially since you're removing them. So you can get rid of those, like maybe a tuner in the graveyard that they really need, or like that face down, and a card from their hand. Like you can, I've actually banished one, like a person's monster reborn with this card. It's a great card. As for like seeds, I run triple Utopia just because I exceed for it so often. Um, if you haven't seen the deck profile, I would say go check that out. I mentioned Utopia a lot. I mentioned how easy it is to get out, but like one of the combos is with Blue Blooded Oni. I can pull two in one turn, no problem. He's a 25 beater. His effect is you can remove one of the XYZ materials to negate an attack. This is really good if they summon a boss monster and like they can't use its effect for whatever reason, i.e. effect veiler, and they try to attack. You can always remove it. Lets you protect it and stuff. The only problem is when it has no materials. If they attack it with anything, if it's targeted by an attack, it's destroyed before damage calculations, which makes it set as a replay. Because even though they declared an attack, because there was no battle calculations or damage calculations, and the monster dies, the monster count changes, so their attack is reset, and so it basically lets them get rid of it and another attack. But with that said, that's why I run Double Ray. Nobody expects this card. Let's say people underrate it, but they don't underrate it too much. Its effect is when you're below 1,000 life points or less, you can activate its effect. And that is, you remove an XYZ material, and you can choose one of their monsters, reduce its attack by 1,000, and you gain 500 attack. It's only 25, so it's not that strong, but if you can use its effect, it's really strong. The main purpose of this card is to save Utopia, is to make sure that the opponent doesn't get that free kill on Utopia, make them work for it just that little bit harder. And by doing so, if you notice, the Utopia and Rays are both light types, so it adds a little bit more light fodder to your graveyard for the chaos. But that's about it. That's what I have. I've received suggestions to take out a Utopia and a Ray to put in other synchros, but it's how you play. It's your style. I mean, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Have fun with it. But that's it for my extra deck. Hope you enjoyed.